5 years off Accutane, what my skin is like now, how I've kept it clear, what's made me break out. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name's Cora. I upload videos about skincare, beauty, and a whole bunch of other topics. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and make sure that you like this video so more people see it. I am not wearing any face makeup right now, which can only mean that it is a skincare video, and this is one I'm so excited for. I haven't talked about this in literally years, and I figured it was time. If you guys didn't know, my channel gained the most popularity through talking about Accutane. Now, I thought that I had beaten that topic to a pulp. I talked about my experience on Accutane, the pros and the cons, literally cried on camera because my acne was coming back a year after I got off of it. I've talked about it extensively, and yet I still get questions about my skin. And the number one question I still get on YouTube and on Instagram is my skin still clear? So 5 years later, I wanted to give you guys an update. I promise this is my final Accutane video. This is probably going to be the longest video I've ever made because I really want to make sure I cover everything before putting this topic to bed. So I have my little planner here. So I'm going to be separating this video into 4 parts. So feel free to skip around if you just want to listen to a certain part to have your question answered. So the first part is going to be updates on my life after Accutane, things that have changed, things that haven't, things I wish I knew, all of that jazz. Things I didn't know I needed to anticipate 5 years later. The second part is going to be how I've kept my skin clear and my skincare routine after Accutane. The third part is going to be treatments I've done since getting off Accutane, what's made me break out, what hasn't, what have I made mistakes on, and the last part I'm going to be answering your questions and the most frequently asked questions that I get about Accutane. I have my little coffee cup here, so make sure you sit down, grab a drink, grab a snack, do whatever you gotta do because this is gonna be a long one. All right, so I am not in my usual setup. I'm actually in front of the brightest window in my apartment, so sorry if the background isn't that great. But I always want to show you guys my skin in its most authentic form. And the only way to do that is to show it in natural light. Nothing on my skin right now. I'm sitting in front of a window. There's no ring light behind me. And as you guys can see, my skin is relatively clear. A little bit about my history with acne. I've had acne since 5th grade. It was really debilitating for my confidence growing up. I'll link below my Accutane What I Wish I Knew video and my entire Accutane playlist because I talk extensively about that in that video. You should really watch those videos before you watch this one because I talk about my dosage of Accutane, why I got on it, my whole story. So if you have any questions about that, make sure you check those videos out below. But long story short, my senior year of college, I'd had enough. I had just turned 21. I got on Accutane and I did a half dose for twice as long. I get so many questions about this and the side effects that I had and the dosage, so I want to break it down for you. I was working at Disneyland when I went on Accutane. I was an entertainment performer, so that meant that I was moving around, standing in a heavy gown all day. I was categorized as what they call a lookalike performer. So if you've gone to any Disney parks and you've met a lookalike performer, I know that sounds really vague, but you can probably figure out what that is. You'll probably see that when they're meeting children, they're squatting down all day, they're getting up, they're posing for pictures, they're walking around. So it's a very physically taxing job. Now, my job at Disneyland was in Anaheim, California, and I was going to school at Pepperdine University in Malibu, California. That's a 60-mile drive one way. So because of the physical nature of my role at Disneyland and the drive from Malibu to Anaheim, I physically could not handle any additional strain on my body. Now, one of the side effects on Accutane is muscle pain and joint pain. I did not have any room for that in my life, so my dermatologist and I collectively made the decision to put me on half a dose for twice as long. Now, the reason for a half dose for twice as long is because it allegedly limits the side effects. your body is able to better process and adjust to getting on Accutane. And sometimes when you get on too intensive a dose too fast, like some people just want to get it over with and do it super, super fast, that can cause a lot of side effects. Now, before you get on Accutane and before you talk to your dermatologist, I think it's really important to educate yourself and educate yourself on the side effects. Learn everything you can about the topic and be a subject matter expert walking into that first appointment. Now, I experienced very minor side effects because of a half dose for twice as long, so I would highly recommend that. If your dermatologist says, no, you don't need that, no, you don't need that, you can just do the normal dosage, push them. Be your own advocate. Do your research, do your homework, see why people do what they do, see if it works in your lifestyle, because you are the only person that knows your lifestyle. I think it's also really important, and something I've never really touched on in any of my Accutane videos, is find the right dermatologist. Take the time and do your research. If a dermatologist puts you on Accutane without trying other things first, leave that dermatologist. My dermatologist did that, but that was only because he had seen extensively what I tried, and I had tried any and everything before getting on Accutane. But if you've never tried anything and a dermatologist is just like, yeah, do Accutane, that's a sign that you need to find someone else. That's irresponsible, and your acne issues might be caused from something else and could be easily cleared with something other than Accutane. I really want to make this clear that while Accutane completely changed my life for the better, and I would highly recommend it if you've tried everything, it is a last resort. There are very serious side effects that come with it. I'm not going to explain them all in this video, but educate yourself on those side effects because they can affect your health long term. So some updates on my skin post-Accutane. It's been 5 years since I originally got on it. I got on it when I was just turning 21 and I'm about to turn 26, which is insane. And my skin has definitely changed since. If you guys have been following this whole journey of me the last 5 years, you saw that a year after I got off Accutane, I was considering getting back on it because I was breaking out again, and I was very emotional in that video. My insurance got really messed up and I wasn't able to get back on it, and it ended up being a blessing in disguise. I really did not need to get back on Accutane. For some reason, that whole year, my skin stayed kind of bad, and that was probably the worst my skin's been. I don't really know what to attribute it to. Since then, my skin has stayed pretty clear. As you can see, this is how my skin looks all the time. My skin texture has changed a lot, but I also think that has to do with the natural aging process. I was in my early 20s when I got on it. I'm about to enter my late 20s, so my skin has dried out a lot as well. Before Accutane, I literally could apply foundation 2 to 3 times a day because my skin was so oily. I would have to take it off halfway through the day and reapply it. Now my makeup stays on no problem. I also, after Accutane, used to wear tons of powder, and even after Accutane, the oiliness of my skin definitely went down significantly, but I could still wear a lot of powder and my skin was still relatively oily, whereas now I hardly ever wear powder, which is interesting, or it makes my skin look wrinkly or like too dry, and I was able to simplify my skincare routine because of that. So I wanted to walk you guys through my skincare routine, and you'll probably see that my skincare routine is extremely simple and it's very effective for me. Now you guys will probably be really surprised by how simple this routine is, but it's really effective for me. And I also think that's been the key to keeping my skin clear as well, is taking a step back and simplifying everything. And I was watching a YouTube video that a dermatologist was being interviewed for, and I'll link it down below, and she said that the most effective way to wash your face in the morning is to do it in the shower after you've worked out. I don't really know the science behind it, but apparently sweating is really good for your skin. So she said doing a quick sweat and washing it all off in the shower is really healthy for your skin. That's typically what I do every morning. Right now I'm doing the Chloe Ting 4-week shred, so that's another video that's coming. I will link it when it's available. Basically, I wake up, I drink my coffee, I have my breakfast, I do my Chloe Ting 3 to 4 videos, and then I hop in the shower and wash my face. So I either alternate between one of these two. The first is the Neutrogena Fresh Foaming Cleanser. It's in the blue bottle. You can get it at Walmart. This is the best, most basic cleanser. It gets a lot of your makeup off. It is great. And for something a little bit more high-end, this is the Zoe Skin Health by Zine Obagi Gentle Cleanser for all skin types. This is a really gentle gel cleanser, but it gets all of my makeup off. It's really effective, so I really like this as well. You do not need to spend the money on this. You can easily get the same results with this, so highly recommend either of these two. Now, I did notice around my sports bra area or any area that I really sweat around, I started to get body acne. So my dermatologist recommended I order this. It's a 10% benzoyl peroxide topical wash, but this is the only body wash that's worked for my body acne. I find it really effective. It's really simple and concentrated, so if you have sensitive skin, just be really careful around the sun, but this is great as well. After the shower, if I have any pimples, I will immediately go in with one of these two. This is just generic tea tree oil. I got this at Target. And then this is my tried and true benzoyl peroxide treatment. I have been using this for years. This is the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo. If you're in the States, you can get this at Target or CVS, I believe. In Europe, I think it's a lot more available, so highly recommend this as well. Then I'll go in with my serum. So this is the Ordinary Buffet Serum. I am heartbroken because I spilled half of this bottle. I left the lid off when I was getting ready to film this video, so I'm really sad right now. But this is the best serum I found for my skin. It's so effective. It hydrates so well. I'm obsessed. This is the Kiehl's Superfluid Daily UV Defense. It's broad spectrum SPF 50+. I'm gonna shake it so you can hear how thin it is. It glides on your face really well and it ends up really matte, so I really like that. I used to love this stuff. Since my skin's gotten drier, I've noticed it is a little bit cakey on my skin. I heard the Supergoop sunscreens are really good, so let me know if you guys have tried those because I really want to try one of those. I use the Vitamin C Suspension 23% from The Ordinary. I put this on under my sunscreen. I've heard from dermatologists that antioxidants under your sunscreen really help protect your skin. So I do try to practice that when I go outside, and I've really enjoyed this one. It is really intense. It makes my skin really sensitive, so that's just something to keep in mind, that you only want to use a little bit of this. And then if my skin is feeling really dry, I use the Natural Moisturizing Factors Plus HA from The Ordinary. As you can tell, I really love this brand, but it's really affordable, it's really simple, and it's been really impactful for my skin. Another moisturizer I also like is from Curology. I actually think they sent this to me in a PR package, but it's been really great. Now, I don't even always use moisturizer, but I like to keep it really simple. Now, at night when I'm taking off my makeup, my routine is a little bit different. So the first thing I'll do is use this Fresh Sea Berry Skin Nutrition Cleansing Oil. You put this on dry, rub it all over your face, and then wash your face. It gets all of your makeup off. And then I'll go in with one of my two cleansers. Then I'll go in with the Ordinary Granactive Retinoid Emulsion. This is by far my holy grail skincare product. I really don't know why, but my skin loves it. It makes my skin look so luminous, so clear, takes away my dark spots. I'll then go in with my Buffet Serum. If I'm feeling really oily or acne prone, I will use the Ordinary Niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%. This just dries your skin out a little bit. I don't use it very often. I've had this bottle for almost a year now, and as you can see, it's like almost full. But I just use a drop or two in my Buffet Serum and call it a day. Now, one major thing that I have changed that I do want to talk about is I got on birth control, but I am on monolinea. I haven't noticed this has cleared up my skin additionally to what I was already doing. I have heard that it's very effective for some people as well, so that might be something you want to research. My roommate just walked in and I get so embarrassed filming in front of people, but you know what? I need to stop. I need to get over that. Now, to talk about some treatments I've done since Accutane, you might notice I have a broken blood vessel right here, and that's from microneedling. So I did film a video about my experience getting microneedling to get rid of my acne scars post-Accutane. So microneedling did really help with my acne scars. It definitely makes the products that you use penetrate more. And I found that after only 2 treatments, you couldn't really notice any of my acne scars anymore. But the girl who was administering the treatment went a little too hard on a delicate area of my face. So I would not recommend going under the eyes if you're going to do it. And I've also gotten Botox one time. Neither of those things affected my skin being any clearer than it was before. Planning on getting a rhinoplasty in the next couple of years. I am just really nervous to bite the bullet and actually do it because it's so expensive, and I really want to make sure I'm going to the right doctor. I've heard after you get a major surgery like a nose job, it can really change your skin. So maybe I'll have an update on that as well. Another thing that I think has been critical to keeping my skin clear that I really want to mention is managing stress and the food I eat. What you put into your body is what you see on the outside. I'm very passionate about that, and I truly believe that. And if you're eating garbage, your skin is going to reflect that. The only time that I can think of that I've really had acne, first 2 weeks of quarantine. I was so stressed out. I think we all were. None of us knew what was going to happen. And I definitely took advantage of that. And I was eating like garbage that whole 2 weeks. I literally was eating the worst I've ever eaten in my life. That was the worst my skin has looked. I was just so much sugar, so much fried food, pizza. It was just junk. And I really cleaned up my diet, got back to the way I was normally eating, and my skin cleared up right away. I think it's really important to focus on whole foods without added sugar, reading the labels on your protein powders, doing your research, making sure that you're eating things that optimize your health, and eliminating things that make you break out or cause inflammation in your body. Fried food, chocolate, whatever it is, all of our bodies are different. Try and fail and learn what works for you and learn what doesn't. For me, gluten is my #1 nemesis. I have celiac disease. For some reason, the only bread that doesn't bother me is the Dave's Killer Good Seed bread, but every other bread I am like out all night. It's awful. So I really try to only eat gluten-free foods. I also tend to try to avoid grains as much as possible. Quinoa, for some reason, also really upsets my stomach. I don't know why. I try to eat a lot of healthy fat like avocado, peanut butter, almond butter, all that good stuff. And my philosophy with sugar is avoid sugar as much as possible unless it's dessert. It's not realistic to say that we'll never eat dessert again or we'll never eat sugar. So outside of eating fruit or natural sugar, I really only have added sugar if I'm going out of my way to have it. If I'm having birthday cake or I'm having, you know, ice cream with my boyfriend, like whatever it is. But I try not to have added sugar in alcohol, in coffee, in peanut butter, any foods. Like I really go out of my way to avoid it. And that's what I've noticed has made a huge difference in my skin. So I think that is going to be it for this video. If I didn't answer any of your questions, feel free to message me on Instagram. I answer all of your guys' messages, and that's the best way to reach me. I don't always see comments on YouTube for some reason, but I hope I covered everything. 5 years off Accutane, what my skin is like now, how I've kept it clear, what's made me break out. Let me know if you guys have any more questions, and I'll see you next time. Bye.